Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's episode, we are going to be discussing
2007's Paranormal Activity, directed by Oren Peli.
Ooh, this is a very, very scary paranormal movie. If you've never seen it, this one haunts me to this day, and I've seen it like 5 times. Before we get into the episode, what we would like to let anyone new to our podcast know.
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty.
You can also find us on Spotify, Apple,
Yep.
as well as Google.
Yep.
Also on Instagram, J Squared Horror Podcast, link tree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
Every Thursday, two lifelong horror fans decide to get together and talk about all things horror. And if you've been with our channel for a while, sorry about last week. I know we say every Thursday, but sometimes things are out of our control. And we are back to you this week, excited as ever to give you guys new content. With the mention of the link tree, don't forget about 2 additional things on our link tree. The one thing being paranormalitymagazine.com. Paranormality Magazine is an up-and-coming magazine about all things strange, unusual, and paranormal. If you use code J2Horror at checkout, you get 10% off of your purchase. They are a very fun magazine about all things spooky and crazy. Also in the link tree, if you go to www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com, you can contact us there. If you are a producer, a director, or anybody interested in being on the show, contact us. If you have an idea for an episode, contact us. It's super fun, super organized, and you can see all of our upcoming events and things on there. So, Jake?
Yeah.
I was thinking paranormal, and I was about to say paranormality again. Paranormal Activity do you think it's scary?
Overall, no. Are there scary components to it? For sure. Surprisingly, the jump scares here and there, even though I haven't seen it since it came out. So
That's wild to me.
But watching it again this morning, they were certain parts. I was like, damn, all right. I think it's all about just like the sounds and knowing something's out there but not being able to see it.
Yeah.
It plays on certain aspects.
Yeah. So you said the first time you saw this, you saw it in theater.
Yeah.
Or did you just go solo?
I think it was some friends, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The first time I saw this movie, my brother wanted to watch this movie, and I was just as scared as I was last night. I watched this movie last night, about 9:30, 10 o'clock. All the lights off. I think you do kind of have to set this movie up. Like, if you watch it in the middle of the day, it's not going to be as scary.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. If you watch it at night when you're all alone in your house, it's a little spooky, man. You got neighbors that are banging and clanging around. You get a little spooked out.
Yeah.
This movie's really cool because it was a super, super, super low budget film.
Yeah, it made a shit ton of money.
And it made like fistfuls of money. I think it is the most successful movie like ever.
For like budget.
Yeah, budget versus what it brought in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, and it falls into the found footage category.
Ugh.
So if you guys have not somehow, or you haven't watched this movie in a very long time, it is free on Amazon Prime.
It is.
Pause our episode, go watch it at nighttime, get super spooked out, and then come back, listen to our content on it, because I think this one's going to be a lot of fun. I hate ghosts, particularly demon ghosts. I don't know if there's like difference between the two things.
Yeah, are demons and ghosts the same thing?
I don't know. It depends on who you ask and what their beliefs are, I do
Okay.
believe. But for somebody like myself, I have partaken in a lot of paranormal stuff. I've done a lot of stuff where I have seen or encountered ghosts. I'm just going to call them ghosts for the ease of this storytelling. Now, have you, Mr. Jake, ever in your, nice little short life you've lived thus far, have you ever had any, like, is there like a particularly crazy paranormal thing that you've been a part of or have witnessed?
Well, yeah, growing up
Okay.
at my parents' house, obviously,
I hope so.
Yeah,
Not just in
just
a
growing
random
up,
shed.
just in a shed in the back somewhere. My room was, I think, a new addition to the house,
Okay.
and at night, I would hear like footsteps because it was like these like den area,
Yeah.
bathroom, and my room.
Okay.
Hear like footsteps, and the door like slowly opening.
Ooh.
But the other door leading into that room was always like locked. I always locked it.
You would lock your door.
Yeah, I'd lock that room from the den.
Oh, yeah, from there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But somehow that door to the woods slowly open, and it wouldn't like just like open. It would like open, like slide open. Yeah. So it wakes me up middle of the night. I look over. I always run in there, cut the light on in the
That's
bathroom.
number one step.
Gotta cut the light on.
You got to get some light on the
Make sure
situation.
the other door is still locked. It always was. I'd get back in bed and lock the door because it had like an old doorknob on, like a little push lock.
Oh, yeah.
By the
like
side of the
click.
doorknob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ghost knew his doors.
Yeah. So I remember when my parents moved into that house. Obviously, I was there too, obviously. But as a kid, I don't know why I keep trying to.
Yeah, you're navigating this story in an interesting way.
I am. Well, it's been a while.
It has, and it's probably slightly traumatic to
Yeah.
you a little bit. Yeah.
My mom, if I remember correctly, was saying how they saw two people standing at the foot of their bed.
What?
Yeah.
Two
So
people.
Yeah.
At the foot of their bed.
Two like
I would shat my
I
pants.
guess ghostly figures.
You were just living Beetlejuice. It was just a couple trying to get their house back.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. With red hair. It was an older couple.
Oh, so the apparition they saw was visible even with some features.
Yeah, it was the people who lived in that house prior to us moving into that house.
Did they get like murdered in the house?
No. I think, if I remember correctly, they got old, died, and their kids just sold the house and got rid of it.
Did they die in the house?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. You know,
But
realtors are supposed to tell you.
Is that real?
I don't know. I've heard it in movies.
Yeah, I watched that show, The Watcher.
Yeah.
And he was like, we don't have to tell you the details of stuff like that. I'm thinking, but do you?
I think you do.
Anyway.
Because according to Amityville Horror, you do.
This is up in Jersey, I think, for The Watcher.
Yeah. Maybe there's different rules.
Yeah,
Jersey's its own little place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember my room was a new addition to the house. I think after after one of them had passed away, if not both of them, I think.
Yeah.
So I always thought they came to the house to check out
the addition,
the new addition to it.
They're like, oh shit, look what they did with this place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you terrified? Did you ever like check the time? Like, I know you were little, so like you wouldn't really like comprehend exactly what's going on in those situations, but did you ever happen to peek at the clock? Was it like midnight, 11, 3, 2, 4, 6?
It was usually, because I usually wake up now, still around the same time, 2:30 in the morning. Like I would wake up randomly.
Okay. That's crazy. So, yeah, oof. It's a little creepy, bud.
Yeah, and there's one. So this is still, I think that house is haunted.
I would give you permission to say that.
Yeah, because at first, so before I had that, I think my sister had the back room at first.
Oh, okay.
And I had the front room. And I can remember one time, late at night, I'm sitting in my bed, and door was open, and out from my room, you could see into the living room.
Yeah.
And I saw my mom just sitting there. And I got up, and I went out there, and I'm looking at her. I'm like an inch from her face.
Yeah.
She's just sitting there, eyes open, just sitting there. I'm, snapping, waving my hand in front of her.
Hey. Yeah.
Nothing. I get back into my bed, and 10 seconds later, my mom walks out of her room.
You saw a ghost of your mom?
Yeah.
That was just little kid shit, I think, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope so.
But then,
because that like screams like bad.
Yeah.
Like demonic shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, years later, I moved to the back room, and
Going on up.
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
It was a bigger room back
Yeah.
then.
Hey, man. You get an extra 2 feet on either side. You're living.
Yeah, and there was a black headboard that I think I told you the story before.
Yeah.
Headboard in my room where I would see the reflection of people like in the headboard.
That I'm so happy you mentioned that because I didn't technically bait you into telling the fans that. That is fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
That is so scary. I mean, just you see faces. You've already had shit happen, and like, do you know if the headboard was like bought new? Was it something you guys found? Was it in the house? Was it something you guys got at, like a thrift store?
we had the headboard when we lived at the old place
And nothing ever like that.
because it was in my parents' room back then.
Okay.
Yeah, so we moved here, get that room. Now that headboard's in my room, and I can remember seeing things in the headboard. I see like my mom is sitting on the foot of my bed in the headboard,
Oh, that's creepy.
and you look and she's not there.
Yeah, man.
Or I remember one particular time it was a dude, kind of like the movie 13 Ghosts with
Yeah.
like leather jacket and half his face is fucked up.
Yeah.
Him, he'd be sitting on the edge of my bed, and every time I'd like check the headboard and look back down and check the headboard, he's getting closer and closer and closer.
That is terrifying, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that perfectly leads into Paranormal Activity because Jake was having some Paranormal Activity before it was a movie. This movie's super cool. Thank you for sharing your ghost stories, first of all.
Yeah.
Because I know that's scary. In the comments, if any fan out there, anybody new to our channel, anybody like that, you can either comment, you can email us, tell us all your ghost stories. Maybe next week we'll read a couple of our favorites. I think that would be super cool.
That'd be cool.
Ghosts and paranormal stuff, and whether you consider it demonic or not, has always intrigued me very much. I think I have some Native American in my family, and I know that sometimes people are in touch with a lot of different things. I know I have like a white witch in my family. Like, there's some really cool shit in like all of our histories and like stuff like that. But I've always kind of felt intrigued and interested by it. My mama used to tell me this story about when she was younger. It was my dad and his two sisters or three sisters. Can't remember how many aunts I have at the moment. But it was a story where they were living in a town. Her father had already passed away. And I guess a tornado was either coming or like happening or something along those lines. And she said she saw her father walk into the room and she could smell his cologne perfectly. He looked at them and said, everything's going to be okay. And as soon as he vanished, the roof of the house was ripped off in a tornado. And sure enough, everybody was okay. So I've always been told stories, and I've always kind of, it's crazy. Like there's so many different variations of like ghost stories or demonic stories or whatever. I have a plethora of them. If anybody wants to know about them, you can ask me either in person or online. I can take up an entire episode. I had my own ghost hunting team at one point. So, like, this movie to me is one of the scariest movies I've ever watched.
Okay.
And I think, like, other people aren't going to be as scared of this movie as, say, I am. Like, Jake isn't as scared of it, even though he's had his own little Paranormal Activity. But when you are, and you'll realize in this movie, if you entice or, like, try to get something out of these beings or entities, crazy shit can happen. And that's what this whole movie's about.
Yeah, but why would you do that?
Well, we were a ghost hunting team, so we're trying to catch stuff. And that's ultimately what he basically is in this movie. He's a ghost hunter trying to figure out what's been going on with his girlfriend, because she has some crazy history of like ghost stuff. And she feels like it's attached to her. And so this whole movie, it's like it starts very found footage. He walks outside. There's a car pulling up. I think it gives you a warning in the beginning, like the police force released this. So it's giving you the whole found footage film vibe, which I love because if you take out the fact that it's a movie created by people to scare us, it does feel very real and very personal. And if you have any ghosts like encounters or scary situations, this movie might be very freaky for you. I love this because this movie does such a good job of creating the atmosphere to where you are engaged with the couple just enough to give a fuck about either of them.
Yeah.
Now, throughout the movie, you might not like one character or the other more or less, and we'll get into that in a minute. But it does really paint that picture for a very young couple. They're, boyfriend and girlfriend living together. She has a history. Weird stuff's been happening. He wants to catch it. He wants to figure it out. He wants to help her. And I think this early on in the movie, they immediately have I think it was a psychic come to the house.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, this is crazy. Don't do this. Don't do that. And you find out later that maybe one of those things you should have listened to. It's a rule that me and Jake both live by.
He tells him directly to his face to not do it. And then he asks him, do you understand?
Yeah.
He said, I hope.
It's all worth the footage. And Jake has said this about me on multiple episodes. He thinks I'd do anything for content purposes. But the one thing I won't do is fuck with a Ouija board. And they definitely do this in this movie, or he does. So you have the whole painted picture, right? It doesn't take very long for you to be involved or to care about this movie, which I love a lot. And you're walking through this whole process, and of course, every fucking time it's nighttime, right? This couple doesn't typically go to bed till, I swear to God, 11:30 and 1 in the morning, like every single time.
Yeah, I know
like they are late to bed, and he like even one time he's like, I got to be up at like 5 or 6 in the morning. I'm like, the math ain't math.
Yeah, it's already
this
1.
is Jake sleep.
Yeah.
This isn't Josh sleep. Like, this is some Jake sleep at its finest. And every single time the camera, it goes like they go to bed, and the camera will like fast forward a little bit, because obviously you're watching an edited version of whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Because if not, it would take up a month of your life. You just immediately are like engaged, like how quiet it just was. Like, that's how your house is. That's how quiet the movie is. And then you start to like hear these things. And I had the subtitles on this time, which help a little bit, because it'll be like growling noise, hissing noise, footsteps. It's like, cool. I am hearing that in the movie, not in my house, because I swear they do such a good job of like creating the atmosphere of what it feels like when you are encountering a ghost or a demon.
Okay.
Anything that I've dealt with has had very similar.
So it seemed pretty realistic.
Very realistic.
Okay.
And I don't know how they did it, because like then you'd see stuff, and then they would wake up, and then you're like, oh my God, like the keys at the beginning. Like, one of the first thing that happens in this movie is they're asleep, and you hear a set of keys hit the ground downstairs. They're both asleep. Nobody else is in this house.
Yeah.
I think you might have heard like a growl or like a something or another. And then when she wakes up to make breakfast, she's like, why did you mess with my keys? And he's like, what are you talking about? So it's like all those things. And then I'm like, did they rewatch the footage? Why don't, like, if you're wondering about it, you can just go to your computer and find out real quick.
But then I think their footage is just upstairs in their room, right?
Yeah, but you hear it on the camera.
Okay, yeah.
So you would be like, oh shit, in the middle of the night, the keys did fall.
Yeah.
Like neither one of us moved it.
Yeah.
And it's eerie, because what this movie does a good job of doing is bringing you tension and then relief, and then tension and relief, and then tension and relief, and tension and relief, which is needed for a good scary movie. But I feel like this one does it better than most when it comes to this style of movie.
The tension and relief?
Yeah, tension and relief. Because you know something crazy is going to happen, but you don't exactly know what. And even when it's happening, they do such a good job of it that it still feels like it's really like you're watching somebody's home video of a haunted place.
I do like it does show like their personal life.
Yeah, like they'll be cooking. They'll be like, he'll be working on stuff. He's playing guitar, and like they'll hear some stuff. And this movie's only an hour and like 36 minutes. It's a short movie, which is needed. I think if you drug this out any longer, it would be a god-awful movie.
Or if you made a bunch of sequels to it.
We all know that happened. So, my question for you, Jake, she kind of opens up a little bit about her history, and that she feels like this thing is attached to her. Correct?
Correct.
So, obviously, shit keeps happening in the night. They hear it. They wake up. They see footage. All sorts of crazy stuff. If you guys have watched it, you know exactly what we're talking about. But say you're dating a girl, right? And he even mentions it. He's like, you didn't tell me on, date. She was like, what'd you want me to tell you on our first date?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, what about our 30th and our 40th? You could have sprinkled it. What about when I decided we'd move in together?
Yeah.
I loved that, because it would be an interesting dynamic between you and somebody that you love.
Yeah.
Right? So if a girlfriend of yours handled that the exact same way, do you feel like you would be like, I think it's Mika, something like that.
I think it's Mika.
It might be Mika.
Yeah.
Is the boyfriend's name. And what do you? How do you feel like you would do? Would you investigate? Would you just immediately call a demonologist or a pastor?
Well,
where do you fall in the category of caring about your significant other's
first
demons?
of all, I would be furious.
Furious.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're fucking 3 years in now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're living together. This shit's happening. We should know this before we live together.
Yeah.
But we're past that point now, obviously.
Yeah, and past the point of no return almost.
I feel like I would give some effort to try to, figure it out, because I can't resolve the problem. I would bring people in.
Yeah.
Maybe do some independent research.
He does that throughout the movie.
But I'm not fucking with Ouija boards and setting up cameras and all that. So you told me it's happening. I'll just believe you.
And just
I don't need to see it myself.
go to bed every night.
Yeah. But
with ghost stuff happening?
Well, at the same time,
At what point do you draw the line? Say, all right, so you're 3 years in with a girl, right? And it seems to be getting a little worse.
First time I hear the growling and the stomping.
Yeah, do you go ahead and reevaluate everything?
Yes.
And you're like, let's sit down. Let's have a talk, sweetie.
The second we just got into bed and it's 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing growling from downstairs. We don't have the animals.
Bitch, what is going on?
Yeah, there's growling and
this has been happening to you since you were a kid and you're just now telling me?
Actually, I'd be concerned to them, but what make me leave at that point is when they do the what's the powder on the floor or whatever.
No, let's circle back real quick. So before the powder on the floor thing happens, there is footage of her waking up in the middle of the night and standing at the edge of the bed for hours. Then she walks downstairs, vanishes, and then I don't know what woke him up. I can't remember exactly, but he gets up. He's like, "Yo, where are you at?" Calling her. She's just randomly outside. So let's just say, right? You go back and watch that foot after that night that you just had. She's like you said, when you thought you saw your mom. That's why I was intrigued that you said that.
Yeah.
That you thought you saw your mom. You snapped. You waved. But this is your current girlfriend. This is your current situation, and it is actually her. And she's not very receptive to what's going on. I've known people, I think I sleptwalk as a kid, so sleepwalking, it happens. But you're now kind of combining everything. She says she has a demon following her, a ghost following her. She's now standing at the foot of my bed staring at me I watched the time. It was 2 hours.
Yeah, it was
two. It was quick. And then she just walks calmly down the stairs and just goes. Doesn't remember any of it. He goes upstairs because the fucking TV turns on by itself. Yeah. He hears a loud bang. He's being boyfriend of the fucking year going upstairs. I can't even guarantee I would do half the shit that he did when shit was going on.
I wouldn't have.
Because I've been there. Yeah. I've had weird shit happen around me that is unexplainable. My first instinct is to fucking run, quick.
So I'll be supportive to a certain point. So the scene you just brought up.
Yeah, that scene. You watch the footage of your girlfriend and you start connecting because you process things very well. So, what would your thought process be when you were sitting there watching that footage, realizing that you talked to her outside? She don't fucking remember it. Then she just pops up behind you when you have the TV turn on and shit. If you ain't talked yet, what are you doing in that situation? So it's what did I get myself into?
Yeah. The fact that you can just move around that quick and be behind me.
Yeah.
And his response was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he was. There's only a couple times in his movies where he sounds scared, and this was one of them.
And kind of upset, too. You know this shit's going on.
Yeah, bitch, no. Hey.
Yeah, so now it's getting really bad. I feel like once we're sitting there watching that footage, and she's like, I don't remember any of that. She's like, what, was I talking to you? I'm like, all right. I'm going to need for you to leave this house.
You're just gonna make her leave?
You gotta leave, dude. We just bought this house.
Yeah,
you moved in with me.
All my 401k's wrapped up.
Yeah, it wants you, not me, or this house. So just, you have family. Stay with them for a little bit.
Yeah, go stay with them for a little bit.
If things keep happening here, we'll reconvene.
Yeah.
If they do not, we are done.
Yeah. It's good knowing you. I really did love you, but I can't handle this shit.
We're both still young.
We're young and handsome and pretty.
We'll find other people.
I gotta say, I was thinking about it last night, And I'm a very big advocate of like, caring about your significant other and stuff. And
Good.
like, where the hell? Like, I feel like I might react the same as you. I don't know if I'd stay in the house though. I think I might go get a hotel and just like check in with her. Has crazy shit been happening since I left?
Oh, it has. And never coming back again.
Like, do you mind keeping the cameras up for me so I can check the footage in a couple? I'll come by in the daytime and just grab my camera.
Grab it in the morning.
Yeah, just like let me know what's going on in the house. Throughout this movie, you do see a progression in the girlfriend. Like she's tired. They haven't been sleeping very well.
Yeah.
And I get like, not sleeping well has a horrible effect on your body. There's plenty of research on that. But it would be interesting to have that footage and then like maybe a day or so later, like she starts acting really, really weird too. Yeah. Like there's just a lot of things. And it kind of shows like, you don't know if Mika is a good boyfriend or just completely invested in he wasn't trying to get rich off of it.
He was trying to help her out.
He was trying to help her out. So he's really not a bad guy.
Well, he was trying to help how he thought was best to help.
But
she wanted the psychic. He was playing the music, trying to fuck with. Yeah,
that was funny.
That was funny.
That was funny.
He wanted no part of that. He didn't really believe any other.
But he was doing research. What's crazy is like the one thing that she wanted him to do is to bring a demonologist in, which was referred to her by the psychiatrist, whatever he was, the psychic. He was a fucking psychic. Yeah, because it was funny. He was late, and Mika was like, "Don't you think a psychic like would know about traffic?" I was like, that was pretty good. But he's doing his own research and realizing that the probability of this being demonic is high. And so the one thing that me and Jake have guaranteed to never do, and before we even met each other, we didn't know that each other would agree, and the fact that we have a horror podcast and the fact that we do some fun shit and we go to haunted houses, and I think he might ghost hunt one day in the
Probably
future.
Not, no.
But we will never mess with Ouija boards.
No.
I think that's where I draw a very straight, crystal clear line in the sand. If I'm talking to a girl and her idea of fun is Ouija board, if she has a Ouija board thingy tattooed on her, if she has a Ouija board necklace, like, nah, you're for the demons. You are not for me. And he makes a pact with his girl. This is when you start to think that maybe he's not a great guy. He promises her, he uses smart wording.
That he won't.
He says, I will not buy a Ouija board. And I'm like, I've said lines like that before. Like, no, I'm not going to buy that new game. Come on. And it just appears in your house. Well, he gets a fucking Ouija board. And, of course, chooses the one time to break it out when they're about to go out on date night finally.
Nice.
Don't. That's not going to be a good night. He did not what, Jake?
Read the room.
He did not. He did not read that room. And so he opens up the Ouija board. She's furious.
As she should be.
As she should be. She's 100% in the right in this moment, as you just heard my little spiel on Ouija boards. He sets the Ouija board down with the little eye finder thingy-majiggy on it. They leave. The camera rolling. They're gone. And you're sitting here in your couch, in your house, watching this Ouija board. It's the only thing on the fucking screen. It's in the living room. Just sitting there alone. Then the fucking piece starts moving. All by itself. And you're like, okay, I've seen that. I don't know why, but when that bitch lights on fire, bro, I'm like, that's the gates to, if you believe in hell, there's the gate. It's wide open in your living room. And I don't know how they pulled this off. It looked really cool. It didn't look super fake. It was just a high enough flame to where it was like, just evil. It was just really evil. And so they come back home and he's like, whoa, what happened to this? And then he like reviews the footage and he's like trying to study it. And that's where he like starts doing his own research. At that point, when I catch on my camera a Ouija board busting into flames and moving alone, I'm calling a demonologist yesterday. I'm not waiting. I'm not trying to figure this out on my own anymore. And I think that's where he becomes a bad boyfriend.
Trying to do it on his own?
Trying to complete, like you're way outside of your abilities here. You've proved it. She's yelling in his face the things that I'm saying. Like, you clearly don't know what the fuck you're doing.
She told him that.
It's getting worse, not getting better. Everything you've tried has gotten, the cameras don't help. The fact that you brought a Ouija board out don't help. Now you're just reading random books. Like, no, dude, that's just stupid. Oh, man, I would never do that.
Yeah, it's almost like he thought, it's not getting any better.
Let's just make it so much
how
worse.
can I make this worse?
Yeah.
And then solve it.
And I think they go. I think they said they went like 2 nights after the Ouija board without any action.
And then he fucking goes to the outside of their room and is telling the demon or ghost, whatever, how it's been quiet for a couple of days.
He's antagonizing it. Yeah.
He comes at him full force that night.
Yeah, dude. So when I was ghost hunting, I would get kind of uncomfortable if people around me were doing that. I've done it, but
yeah, but why though?
Well, because you want like for us it was wanting evidence. We really wanted to prove that we could catch some stuff on video or audio. But in that instance, like, bro, you've already caught some stuff, man. In that instance, like, even though I've ghost hunted, and I don't ghost hunt today because of reasons, but you have plenty of evidence on your camera that there's some wild shit going on in your house. You don't want to poke the bear in those moments.
I feel like unless you're a priest or a Ghostbuster,
I don't even think the Ghostbusters would have survived this movie.
You don't want these things coming out.
Things, yeah.
Yeah, you got the footage.
Yeah.
Move on.
You do. And then he's like, all right, listen, dude, like, sweetie, we've done a lot. I got one more thing I want to try. And Jake had already mentioned it earlier, but they do a baby powder trick, which I'm so happy I never did when I was ghost hunting.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, that would terrify me. But they put baby powder in, like, the areas where they think they're hearing the footsteps. And you're like, cool. Can't wait for this part of the movie. Because they're both sleeping. It's all cuddling. And they both wake up after footsteps appear through the baby powder. They look like chicken feet.
And the
like
thing,
big fucking chicken feet.
I thought was interesting. He said, you see the steps.
They just
come in.
They never go back out.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, when he stands up and goes right there, I thought he was just about to get yeeted across the room.
I did too.
Didn't happen. Did not happen. Then he goes full detective mode. And I get this part because when your instincts kick in, if one of your instincts is a problem solver, you try to solve a problem.
That is true.
So they follow it. And for some reason, it goes into a closet where their attic access is. And it's a scuttle access, which is where you push a piece of wood. And it's a nice little hole, but it's moved. And she's like, did you do that? He's like,
no.
When? when would I have done this? Because the footsteps kind of I don't know if they went that direction, but they kind of just stopped in that vicinity.
Yeah.
And being a tough guy, he decides I'm going to go get my handy dandy ladder, pop my head up in the air. I was fucking terrified in this part. I didn't know if it was going to be just fucking demon face when he puts his camera up there. When he puts his camera there, it's just a bunch of insulation, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just, lights up pretty well. It's a little tight access. But then he sees something in the insulation.
Before that, would you even gone up there?
Yeah. I inspected attics for 4 years at Terminex.
Yeah, but there weren't demons.
I found a Ouija board in somebody's attic, and I got the fuck out of Dodge. I had never finished it, and this was for the sale of a home. I probably shouldn't admit this, but I don't think it can come back to bite me now because I don't work there anymore. Dude, I was doing an inspection on a house in Virginia Beach. The lady was old as shit. They had a bunch of creepy stuff everywhere. And I went into the attic. I'm doing my inspection, and I turn, and it is the oldest Ouija board box I have ever seen. I didn't know they made Ouija board boxes like this. I synced it. I was snapped a quick picture, hauled ass. I'm ma'am, everything's great to go. You have a great day. Boom, left. Never went back to that house again.
When they're in there and she says, Mika, you're not going up there, I would have said, right, I'm not going up there.
Come on, not even a little bit of...
I would just take my hand, just
straighten that back up.
Straighten it out. All right, get in bed. Or you fucking go up there.
No, I'm not sending my girl up there. Not a fucking chance, dude.
So usually...
Not a chance, dude.
No. So here's
dude. No, Jake.
Hold
what
on.
the shit? No.
Hear me out.
There is no hearing you out.
Hear me out.
Please explain this, please. I
mean,
please.
In the grand scheme of things.
No. Tell me what you're going to say. Don't circle back now.
No, I'm about to double down on it.
Oh, you're doubling down on it.
Doubling down on it.
All right, let's hear this.
It's not after me. Just go up there, dude.
Jake.
This thing has had plenty of opportunities to get us both. Also, this information you hid from me, yeah, this is where it ends. This is where it ends. So, yeah. I'll hold the ladder. Go ahead. Here's the camera.
Dude, no.
If it gets too close, toss it back down. I do need the footage. And this camera
this
was
camera
not
was
cheap.
very expensive. Yeah. It was half a day's work.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it sounds fucked up, but yeah, I would do that.
No, dude. All right. So you put me in that same exact scenario. I can't guarantee I'm going up there. I can't.
You just said you would go up there.
Well, I was thinking about it a little bit. I think, depending. All right. So how bright is my flashlight that I'm going to use? I hate the fact that he always goes camera first. It's for movie purposes.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I'm going to get my brightest flashlight.
Okay.
And probably some form of weaponry. Not that I could do anything to a demon with a weapon. It just makes me feel a little bit better about myself.
Yeah, the growling is hooves we saw.
And you know it's a losing battle. Maybe a crucifix. I don't fucking know. I don't believe in that shit, but maybe. Maybe at that moment,
toss it up first.
I'm actually like saying a prayer. It's like, I don't know.
You can save all that. Just send her up there. That's just my plan.
And it's funny because you've seen me in haunted houses.
Yeah.
I can push through.
Yeah.
I can do it. And I know that's fake. That's a bad example, but
still,
it's semi an example. I let you get zapped by the door, then I took my little cut. But I think I would, just because I don't think I could not know. I think it would bother me more not checking if anything was up there.
So
even if it's her fault, even if it's completely she should have told me more.
100% her
But
fault.
then you have all the evidence you need to leave her. You're out. You're crystal clear, bro. Because what he finds in the attic is a burnt up photo of her as a kid.
You know how else you're out? You fucking send her up there. Guaranteed you're out. She's not coming back down. Yeah, gone.
Oh,
I'm just gonna close that up.
Let's get that straight back
Problem
on here.
solved.
We're not losing any property value on this bitch. Let's go and sweep up this baby power real quick.
And it's not even it's not even a fear thing. It's just the logical thing to do. That's just
I think you're scared.
No, it makes you think of Barbarian. When Homegirl's down there, sees all that stuff, comes back up and tells him for some reason he wants to go see it. Dude, I believe you.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck
This
about
is
it.
Slightly different, but I can see where you're coming
Well,
from. I really
similar
can.
in the aspect of, for me, I don't need to see it myself.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, nobody had seen anything yet in this movie.
You got the hooves on the floor. You got the growling. You got the camera. You've seen some things. You haven't seen
chandelier shaking in that one scene when that loud ass boom happened.
Yeah, you know the problem is. It's her.
That happened early. That chandelier shaking loud boom thing happened early in the movie, and they handled that a lot better than I would have.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
It was roar. And then they go downstairs, a chandelier that's huge is just a swinging. I'm out. I mean, I don't know how these things attach and follow people, but I'm going to roll the dice and at least go to a Motel 6 and try my hand at that.
I'm going on my own.
Yeah, no, you let me know what's going on after.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, depending on how close were we? Were we getting along that well?
I mean, you're dating 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely wasted 3 years on other shit.
Yeah. Me as well.
Careers.
Yeah.
Other women.
Yeah.
You can get through it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're now demon free.
And honestly, you can just kind of say you broke up.
Yeah, you don't have to explain that she got sucked up into an attic access and you just closed the thing. And
and then I just
swept up your baby powder and everybody good?
Yeah.
Did you guys get what you needed?
Yeah, a week gone by.
But you find out later on in the movie, I don't think your plan would have worked. So,
yeah, I feel like it would have still.
No, it wouldn't have, because you ultimately find out. Yeah. So, shit's hitting the fan. They bring back Mr. Psychic because Demonologist is out of town.
He wants no part of that shit.
He was like, I don't want. He comes inside and he's like, oh, It feels icky in this bitch.
I can't be here.
I can't even be here. And they're like, what are you talking to me? He's like, I'm serious. I'm out. Like, I might try to help y'all, but like, not today, not now. Something in this house is telling me I don't need to be here. He just leaves.
Yeah,
and she is just distraught. She is crying. And you now know, if you checked how long this movie is, shit's about to get real.
Really fast.
And I don't know if it's because I don't know if that plays into it because he felt like it didn't want him there. But like, yo, it goes up a notch in the craziness. And that's when he finds her on the ground holding the crucifix, like bleeding.
Well, I guess you gotta wear her down.
You have to get I think the person, like if the demon's trying to possess you, they have to be at a low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess lack of sleep.
Lack of sleep, fear.
And I think you said like negative energy or something.
Negative energy, which they're fighting at this point.
Yeah.
So that's a very good negative energy between the two of them.
Got her ass.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing, is it weakened her down so bad. And like that crucifix scene, which I didn't really understand. Like, how was her hand bleeding? It was just a little piece of wood.
I don't know.
Just squeezing the shit out of that
A
thing.
severe splinter.
Then, I don't know if this plays into it, and they showed it. He starts his fireplace and throws the crucifix in the fire.
That's what that was?
Yeah, he threw that crucifix into the fire. I think that's it.
Why?
Why did he throw it in there?
Yeah.
I don't think he was religious at all.
He did say, I'm over this shit.
I'm over this shit.
Yeah.
But if I'm over that shit, I'm at least try to keep something on my side. Even if I don't believe in it. Maybe the power of Christ compels you.
See,
the
that's
power
the thing.
of Christ compels you.
You can't go this deep into it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're fucked now.
Then you get this is craziness, man. So they go to bed eventually, and they're sleeping. And like at one point in the movie, you saw like something lift up a blanket and like her foot come out, but nothing happened. So it's kind of like foreshadowing for what the fuck's about to happen.
Yeah.
And Jake mentioned this before we started the episode, but yeah, we're about to get into it. It flips out the blanket and pulls her down the hall, slams the door, and it's like intense.
Yeah.
There's like banging his shit. He's trying to get her. Are you gonna go after her?
I'm gonna say again what I told you then. Once that door shuts, I'm locking that bitch. All right, we're done here. We're done. We're done here.
Yeah.
The thing has now literally taken you.
Yeah. I think we're mixing it up slightly, but yeah.
I tried to sacrifice you. I at least thought about sacrificing you before.
To the attic.
But you want to fuck around and stick around. But here, it has you. I'm done.
I think that happened earlier. I don't think that happened at this point. Yeah. Sometimes they get.
Yeah, so that was later.
That happened earlier in the movie.
Her getting snatched out?
Yeah. Because at the end.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she got snatched out early. So at that point.
Yeah, at that point,
you should have left.
I would have left. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, if
he wouldn't got her.
If I woke up to you screaming, not you, but my girlfriend. Yeah. Even you, like, you're my best fucking friend. And if we're at a hotel, I'm like sleeping. Josh, what's up, dude? And you're fucking getting pulled into a room by nothing. I'm like, I'm gonna catch you on the other side.
All right.
Like,
I'll see
go
you
out
around.
that hotel door and never look back, bro. Nah, I'd come check on you. But it's crazy because you also have to think of like when you wake up, you're all fucking confused and shit. Yeah, when she gets pulled and then there's like banging on, he gets her, brings her in. And then, like, it's crazy because this thing's, like, banging on doors. Like, it wants a part of what's going on. And, oh, yeah, that happened right. Yeah, I think we're right because she has the mark on her. It bit her.
Bitter, yeah.
It bit her.
And that was it.
That, for sure. I've watched some movies.
Yeah.
And if you did any type of research, you should know if there's a bite, you're done.
You're done.
That's the mark that you've been got.
He should know that.
He should have.
And left. For the fourth time.
Yeah, and I'm like, we'll call Dr. So-and-so, and when he gets back, and you just hang out at the house.
Yeah, I'll send him to you.
Yeah, here's the address. She's bit upstairs, probably fucking screaming and stuff. And then I think they go to sleep again, and this is when he gets got. Which, he gets pulled out. Does he get pulled out and just takes out the blanket?
Well, no.
Something draws her down.
Well, no.
She does the walk again.
Yeah, so she
wakes up.
She pulls a Michael Myers.
She does the Michael Myers. Yeah, she
just sits up and walks out the.
Then she screams Micah.
Yeah, and he like runs out there.
Blood curdling. Like I got goosebumps. You guys probably can't. Dude, look.
Yeah, I see it.
I have full fucking goosebumps.
Yeah.
That actress or whatever fucking distortion they fucking did,
yeah.
dude. It obviously. I mean, I look like a lizard. It
was good. You hear it just scream at first, and,
and then it's like, my God.
And I feel like the closer he's getting to it, darker. It changes.
It's like, Micah. Dude, it was fucking scary. As you can tell now, like that shit fucks with me. Yeah. It freaks me out, especially if you're thinking about like somebody you care about, somebody you love, and like that's happening, and you the only thing you can think is to go save them, and you hear like, and all my TV said was like thud. like fight noises or some shit. But it's like you hear that and then you hear the footsteps and you're like, who's coming up the stairs? You know, what's going to happen? And then he just gets fucking yeeted. This is the yeet of all yeets. He gets yeeted into the camera. And you're like, what in the fuck is just happened? Yeah. Which he got his shit kicked in or beat up downstairs. And got thrown. I'm telling you, he got thrown up the whole fucking flight of stairs.
Yeah.
Like, just, whoa. Hits the camera, falls down. Then she just does her little thud walking. And it's crazy because I don't know this for sure, but I think her walk matches the steps that you've been hearing throughout the movie. Mm. I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but something in my brain told me that's why she was walking like a fucking zombie. Because it matches the noises. Because she is now possessed.
That makes sense.
That's not her walking.
Yeah.
And then my least favorite fucking shit in the world, they decided to just put at the very end of the movie. I hate crawling and sniffing. And it might be because of this movie. I've hated crawling for most possessed movies. Kids, women, men, I don't care. You start contorting and crawling, I'm out. I'm scared. Yeah. I am done. She does it. She like gets down and starts sniffing him and is like proned over him and then just distorted demon face into the camera and it cuts out.
I will say though, he had another opportunity to leave her before that night. When they're laying in bed, or she's laying in bed and he's like, hey, let's leave. And she's letting know I want to stay.
Oh my God. Yeah. She was all like that. I think that was right before all this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like completely fine.
Yeah.
And then she says, what does she say? She's like, we? She says something we.
Yeah.
She's like, we finally did it. Or like,
I think she's like, we're going to be okay.
We are going to be okay. Yeah, that's exactly what she said. But she's like completely like solace, calm, happy. You're like, that ain't her, man.
And there's like a slight smile.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. You should have checked that fucking camera then.
I'm taking my $1,000 worth of camera equipment and I think he's a musician of some sort.
I'm out of here.
I'm out. I'm Audi 500. Yeah. That's the end of the movie, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fucking roller coaster.
It is.
And if you, I can't believe I got goosebumps just talking about that.
I can't either,
I know you guys couldn't tell, but my shit was like chicken skin over here. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
Chicken skin. Because I'm a fucking chicken when it comes to demons and ghosts, man. So with that being said, on a scale from 1 to 10, what do you rate Paranormal Activity from 2007?
On a scale from 1 to 10, it's a 7.5 for me.
That's actually pretty good for a found footage / ghost movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to give this bad boy like an 8.3.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Also, I have some sentimental value with my brother because he showed it to me the first time I watched it. We actually watched the first and the second one on the same day. I was fucked up. I was fucking scared. But yeah, these movies do something to me. If you guys enjoyed the movie, like we said, comment down below. If you guys have any ghost stories, comment. You can go to the website. You can email us there if it's a super lengthy one and you don't want to have to type that out in the comment section. I get it if it's kind of personal and you don't want it read out loud. Just let us know. We would love to read them. And if you want them shared and we find some good ones, we'll share them on the next episode. But yeah, we love ghost stories. We love this movie. We are so happy to be back in the seats. Sorry we missed you guys last week. Obviously, if you saw the Instagram post, there was some, what is it called? Scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
Where, we were super excited about doing some director stuff, but it didn't work out. And it's fine because we got through it. We were able to plan for this week, and we're going to have some more fun content, hopefully not missing anything else in the near future. I want to take a big shout out to thank all of our main supporters. Jeff Balance, who does our design work. Lucky Riggs, who does our intro and our outro music. Trademark Printing, who does all of our printing needs. Big shout out to Jake, being the best co-host the guy could ask for and a great ghost storyteller. So make sure to comment down below. Jake's stories are great, and you'll get some free swag. Make sure to go to paranormalitymagazine.com. Check them out. 10% off. Code J2Horror. www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. You can contact us there. You can share your ghost stories there. And maybe we can drop them on the website if you guys have a bunch of cool ones. We could do stuff fun. I just want to see your ghost stories.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. We have no idea what we're covering next week, so buckle up for that. This planning went so well. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys. If you missed us, thank you. We're back. I know it was only a week, but it felt like 2 months for me and Jake. We legitimately enjoy doing this every week.
Yeah, we do.
So I want to thank you guys. We see you guys. We love you guys. So with that being said, I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
This is the J Squared Horror Podcast. You guys have a great week. And remember, it's hip to be squared.